Welcome back, Shalligators. We have a very special episode today. An episode directed to two specific people. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Now, Shallon, you might be saying, come on, you've done a lot of episodes about them. Yeah, I've done a lot of episodes about them. I've never done an episode for them and to them. But you know what? That's where we differ. Because they did decide to include me in their new Netflix documentary. Their Netflix documentary that has a seemingly unlimited number of episodes. We're on what, like episode 6 right now? Ken Burns, the storied documentarian, only had to do 10 parts to cover the Vietnam War. And these assholes, we're gonna be on like episode 87.25. It's never going to end, but I digress. So if you're a Netflix subscriber, go ahead and watch episode 5 of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Festival of Bullshit and fast forward to about the 29-minute mark. But you know what? You don't even have to, because I'm going to play it for you here. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to go through every sentence in my segment, line by line, and we're going to trot out a weapon that no one involved with this documentary has ever seen before. Not the Netflix producers, not this person who runs some horseshit company called Bot Sentinel, and certainly not Meghan or Harry. Do you know what that weapon is? Logic. That is the big, bad monster nuclear weapon of mass destruction we will trot out. Because that's actually the only weapon anyone really needs to counteract anything Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have to say. Okay, let's get into it. First, I want to say that no one from Netflix, Bot Sentinel, Harry, or Meghan ever reached out to me for comment, ever reached out to me or to YouTube for permission, per my managers. And, you know, why would they reach out to people who can speak and argue for a living to get a comment? That's not how I'd play it. I'd avoid people like me at all cost. But you know what, Meghan? You want to dance? Let's dance. So I'm going to play you the audio because I can't splice in the visuals. It's like copyright, blah, 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 blah. But the visual, it's all very like grave. It's all just like the serious music and the gravity of this gravity. Remember, only 10 parts to cover the Vietnam War for Ken Burns. Only 10. Huge war. Much war. These people, it just goes on and on and on. So I happened to look at the episode synopsis for the one I appear in. After private correspondences with their family are leaked, the couple make a crucial decision. And ensuing online campaigns turn chilling. They turn chilling. I'm part of that chill. I am the great chiller, okay? So let's see what they had to say about me.
Well, Harry, maybe you could help humanize this for us. Just a month ago, a report by Bot Sentinel, a company that analyzes tweets, found that a very small number of anti-Meghan and Harry accounts were responsible for a huge percentage of the hateful content about you on Twitter.
Misinformation is a global humanitarian crisis.
Let's just start there. Misinformation is a global humanitarian crisis. I don't think until now I've realized how bad and weird his voice is. You just like want to turn it up. You want to like click the bass boost. It's like, are you really there? What's inside? Are you okay? You're like a Build-A-Bear that's come to life. It's a global humanitarian crisis. Let me tell you about some other global humanitarian crises. Water, women's rights, climate change, access to food, drugs, refugees, wars. Did I mention water? But no. Harry also wants to include in that list misinformation. About who? Oh, just so happens to be about him. Okay, so Harry and his struggles are part of the overall humanitarian crises going on in the world, such as poverty and war and hunger and mental health and regular health and tweets. Okay. Sure, Harry. Yeah, you know what? Let's just keep going.
Personally, over the years, we know that a small group of accounts are allowed to create a huge amount of chaos online and without any consequence whatsoever.
A small group of people are allowed to create chaos online without consequences. My God, what if the whole world worked on a system where power was concentrated amongst a smaller group of people? What if there were teams where people played sports, but only a certain number of those people became professionals at it? What if people who lived in a town, they all lived in the town, but only a certain number of those people who lived in the town served on a city council? Or if you got bigger, what if only a certain number of people served in a Congress? What if only a certain number of people got to be in movies? Oh my God. It would be anarchy. Does this seem like a good idea now, Harry? Does it seem like a good idea to include me in this now? We're just getting warmed up. I love this shit, by the way. I live for this. I am at my best when I am shredding someone who did not think their argument through. So the visuals we have Harry like speaking very like intensely in a friend's apartment, and Meghan sitting on the floor with her head in her hands, like with her phone, listening to something on a sofa. It's all just very dramatic. Okay. So here we have, the graphics are, online hate targeting Prince Harry, Meghan Markle comes from small number of users, new report said. So this platform called Bot Sentinel, which I've never heard of in my life, analyzed 114,000 tweets related to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex for this report. This is published in HuffPo, whose journalistic standards, they will literally let anyone write for them. But that's okay. So 114,000 tweets. I want you to remember that number, okay? Because math is gonna save us all.
Bot Sentinel has looked at everything from QANON to MAGA to COVID disinformation to climate change disinformation. We've never seen anything quite like this.
Stop it right there. Stop it right there. So this person, I'm gonna put that in quotes because Chris Boozy, he is the CEO of Bot Sentinel, said that they have looked, let's go over that list, QAnon, MAGA. First of all, do you mean Republicans? Do you mean Republicans? Because Republicans say MAGA. Or are you using that as a catch-all term for like crazy right-wing conspiracy theorists? Because a lot of people I know who have a MAGA flag or a hat, or in Montana they actually say it as a green MAGA brother, they're not nutty. They're literally just not voting the way this guy is voting. Okay? Who else do we have? COVID disinformation. Let's just focus on the first one, QAnon. What did he say? We analyzed all of that online activity, and we've never seen anything like this, though. The assertion here is that the online hate targeting Meghan and Harry, remember, that's 114,000 tweets, 114,000, outpaces MAGA, Republicans, QAnon, and COVID misinformation. 114,000 tweets. So you think there have been less than 114,000 tweets that say MAGA in them, or by Republicans in general? You think there has been less than 114,000 pieces of content by QAnon folks? I'm talking a Reddit post, a Facebook thread, a Twitter reply. 114,000 is so much higher than you can conceptualize from any one of these three crazy groups. That's the assertion. Let's keep going. All right, you've made your claim. Let's go. I love that he is speaking with so much authority because it makes him so much easier to shred. He is presenting these things as facts, and they are not.
From QAnon to MAGA to COVID disinformation to climate change disinformation. We've never seen anything quite like this.
So now we have the picture of all of these nasty tweets about Meghan. All these nasty, you're a nasty fake bitch, you're not with him, you're fake nasty beer, whatever, like crazy tweets. You know what you can't see on here? Who wrote these tweets? This is interesting, right? I mean, isn't this gotcha journalism? We've uncovered, we have the stats, we have analyzed these tweets. Well, then who wrote them? Who are these people? Who are these people? Who is behind this? Oh, that's right. I am. Me. Shallon Lester. I don't mean people like me. I mean me specifically. Because I am in this episode.
What was interesting to me about that
Here's some
report
dumpy bitch.
is that it showed...
She's the author, The Algorithms of Oppression. Get your hair blown out. You look like a
that
dummy.
there were a handful of accounts that weren't just bots, but they were people who were highly coordinated and deeply networked and responsible for the vast majority of hate propaganda against the couple.
It wasn't bots harassing Meghan and Harry. You know why? Because bots don't do that. That's not like the function of a bot. Okay. They were people behind these. Okay. They were highly coordinated and deeply networked. Highly coordinated and deeply networked.
Looked at 114,000 tweets, and we were able to then determine that 70% of the hateful content came from just 83 accounts.
83 accounts.
They had a reach of 17 million people.
83 accounts hit 17 million people. 83 accounts reaching 17 million people. That is a little over 200,000 people per account. If you do the math, what would you call someone with a reach of over 200,000 people? I don't know. An influencer? A YouTuber? Something like that? A content creator? They have some other names.
So this is not your everyday trolling.
No, it's not trolling at all. It's content creation. So here is logical point number like 534 that these people have failed to hit upon. You can't be a troll and an influencer at the same time. But a troll, by definition, is a nobody. They hide behind like an anonymous avatar. They're complete chicken shits. They have no audience. They're screaming into a void because their parents didn't love them and no one cares if they live or die. That's not an influencer. An influencer is actually the polar opposite. By definition, an influencer has influence. They're not trolling. They're creating content and people are watching it. So to call content creators trolls, keep digging. Chris Boozy, keep digging yourself deeper because boy, oh boy, argumentation, logic, not your strong suit, my guy.
They were coordinating and talking about what they would discuss for that particular day or week, what pictures they should disseminate. They were actively recruiting people, telling people.
So we were coordinating what pictures we would disseminate. What picture? Pictures from Google? What pictures would I possibly have of Meghan and Harry that I'm not getting off Google Images? Okay, so right there, what the fuck are you talking about? Again, like, you can maybe say that about the paparazzi, but paparazzi aren't creating content. They're taking pictures, they're selling them to news agencies, to Star Magazine, to Us Weekly, to Washington Post, whatever. That's not the same as a troll or an influencer. That's a paparazzo. So now you've looped in a third type of person into this and trying to lump them together to be all one monster. And apparently we have meetings about what we're gonna say and how targeted it is, and we're disseminating this information. If I and any of these other creators, I don't even know who they are because we don't know each other, that's literally the point. If we had been engaging in these incredibly effective and widespread campaigns with, remember, a reach of at least 200,000 people, why is there no evidence of that? How else would I be disseminating this information if not on my YouTube channel with a reach of well over 200,000 people? So how am I getting this information out? Texting people? Am I faxing them? You say I have all this reach and everything's coordinated, but you cannot point to one tweet, one Facebook message, one Instagram story, one mention a video, one like winky wink, today's the day, attack, 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 because it's not happening. There is no coordinated effort against Harry and Meghan. The only thing that's happening is actually the most mundane and logical thing in the world. Everyone independently realizing and agreeing that there really shitty, that no one likes them. And the fact that Meghan and Harry think that there's some global cabal against them with precisely 83 people is exactly why people don't like them. The hubris. It's so self-aggrandizing. It is so incredibly demented and entitled and ridiculous. When in reality, the truth is you're all just deeply unlikable. And we can all see that. It doesn't take a cabal. And let's break that down. Okay, we're all part of some shadowy network out purely to ruin Meghan Markle. I've done over, I think, 800 or 900 videos on this channel. It's a lot. And I've covered dozens of celebrities, from the Kardashians to other members of the royal family, everyone in Hollywood. So how many cabals am I part of? Like 38, 35? How many hours do you think I have in the day? I gotta go, it's cabal meeting number 92. Oh, I gotta go, it's cabal meeting number 84. Or are you saying that all of us content creators who, again, I'm sure these other people who they showed in this video and who they're referring to, which, again, if you know who we all are, why not do a running ticker? This whole documentary is meant to expose how people have bullied you and meant to call people out. So call us out. Why are you afraid to put my name out there? Why are you afraid to list all of these people who've been coming against you? Because they don't exist. I mean, they exist in that they're making content that you don't like about yourself, Meghan, but they do not exist as part of some larger shadow ops organization whose entire goal on planet Earth and in their career is to come after you and you alone. That's the thing. Again, I've made upwards of 1,000 videos about all sorts of celebrities, and you think that I spend my time in this weird rat's nest of other creators only about you? Or if we're using logic, which again, of course you're not, you would have to assume, well, she's in a cabal about everyone. She's in a cabal about not just the Kardashians, but each individual one. She's been about Rob and his Arthur George sock line, which is stupid. She's in one about Kylie. So you honestly think that? That's what you're asking us to buy. The content creators who cover you in a way that you don't like, right, are part of some shadow ops group. And only about you, though. Why? I want to know how much money I make for telling people to tweet mean things about you. How does that get me laid? And how does it get me paid? Because you know those are my only two motivations in life. Laid and paid, honey. So how does that put dollars in my pocket? I'm not disseminating anything to them, which you know because you don't have any proof. You don't have a screenshot. You don't have a thread. You don't have anything because it doesn't exist, Meghan. It doesn't exist. Okay? What does exist, again, is your deep and obvious unlikability. Your complete reptilian machinations. That is what shines through. That is what there's plenty of evidence of. But we're not done. Because what would a Meghan and Harry video be without a race card?
How to create multiple accounts, how to use VPNs, virtual private networks to hide the IP so they don't get suspended.
Okay, that's another thing I was doing, me and other creators. We were telling you how to create fake accounts and how to use VPNs to not get your account suspended. First of all, that doesn't stop an account from getting suspended. Do you know that? Chris Boozy, you do this for a living, and this should be the face you wear all the time because it's a face of someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. You look bored and ashamed, which you should. Having a VPN doesn't insulate you from the consequences of posting content that violates a community guideline. They're not like, oh, well, they're coming from Canada, so they can post a swastika. That's literally not how anything works. And again, the fact that this dude whose whole job this is doesn't know that, that's scary.
It's insane.
It is insane,
What is
Chris.
it about Meghan Markle that has driven Prince Harry to not only
every scenario? Who's the victim? Is because she separated him from him.
And it was done by people who were just not the typical quote-unquote trolls. These are housewives. These are middle-aged Caucasian.
What did you call me?
Just not the typical quote-unquote trolls. These are housewives. These are middle-aged Caucasian women.
Housewives. Middle-aged. Caucasian. Meghan, Sweetheart, my baby girl, you're older than me, okay? I'm not a housewife. Actually, I have a job. You know who doesn't have a job outside of being married to someone? You. And again, of course, the race card has to be trotted out. Caucasian women. Of course, there's plenty of black creators who don't like Meghan Markle. Candace Owens being chief among them. There's probably many Asian creators, many gay creators, many trans creators. But if you include those in this bullshit coverage, that doesn't fit Meghan Markle's narrative of constant racial oppression. That doesn't fit the narrative whatsoever. So she is going to be racist towards us and say that it's all middle-aged white women housewives. So again, hold up. We're not the typical trolls. Okay, we've established that we're not trolls because we have an audience. So you call that an influencer. So you say you're middle-aged housewives. Now hold on. Now you're contradicting what you just said, which is these people have so much influence and they have such a deep network, but they're fucking nobodies that nobody cares about. Which is it? Which is it, Chris Boozy? Because nothing you're saying is making any sense. But then again, is that not typical now of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? Have we not come to expect this? And you know, when I first saw myself in this documentary, I actually didn't believe it. My friend was like, my friend just texted me and asked if my friend Shallon was in the Meghan and Harry documentary. I was like, no, I don't think so. And then boop, 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 the phone blows up. And I'm like, look at that. And my friend's like, this is awesome, the clout. I was like, yeah, like, that's fine. Like, I don't care. And then I watched the full clip. And to put me in the category of not just as bad as someone in QAnon or MAGA, which again, what does that mean? Are you talking about Proud Boys? Are you talking about white supremacists, Capitol rioters? Oh wait, to you, they're all the same people, simply because they're not woke leftists. So anyone who is not slobberingly leftist is a Proud Boy, is a Nazi, is a fascist. That is the absolute implication here. When you put me anywhere near the category of those fucking lunatics, you start a real problem with me. When again, what if the reality is, Meghan and Harry, people just don't like you. You're cringy assholes. And your endless victim tour of the United States, nay, the world, is old.
Caucasian women creating just constant attacks from go back to America to basically, why don't you die?
Oh, okay, so now I've been issuing death threats. Again, I would love to see it. This pisses me off. It pisses me off because when we look at a documentary by a reputable company like Netflix, you know what we do? We believe what we see. We tend to think, wow, this is well researched and well shot and well scripted and well lit and microfilm. Like, this is a real solid piece of journalism we can trust. The fuck it is. This is the biggest bunch of horseshit journalism I've ever seen in my life. And guess who knows all about horseshit journalism? Me. I work for Star Magazine. Sometimes it takes one to know one, huh? So the fact that Netflix is putting this out as something even resembling fact is not only deeply unsettling, it's illegal. It's illegal. There is a myriad of things that this violates. And I'm going to be pursuing that. And by the way, you know what's going to be like the first line of my legal letter? Could you not use a clip from a video from this year when I was thin? You had to take it old school when I was a bit of a butterball. Very irritating. I look so good now. It's all very irritating, very untoward. Fighting dirty, low blows. Because you know what's crazy? We talk a lot about liars and what to do when people come after your reputation, when they're spreading a false narrative, when they're lying, all of these things. And what do I always tell you? Just give them enough rope to hang themselves. That's all you have to do. Because the truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. You let it loose, it defends itself. And what your attacker is going to do is they're going to be so desperate for your attention or any attention from this yarn that they're spinning that it's going to escalate in terms of drama. It's going to get crazier and wilder. And then she didn't just throw up. She bit everybody drunk at the bar. It's all going to be just this huge, fantastical web of ridiculousness. And the tipping point will occur when people are going to look at this person telling their tale and say, you know, I kind of maybe believed her at first, but like every time we talk to her, the story changes or it gets worse and it's just so much more of a victim story. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, we just don't want to hear it. Just stop talking about her. We don't want to hear it. And from my point of view, that's exactly where Meghan and Harry are landing. If they had used clips from my video and been like, people are just so hateful towards Meghan and Harry, like, they say that she's abusive and she's isolated him, but his family, as we've demonstrated through these last 6 episodes, his family is so toxic and they needed to get away from him. And look, still, people are saying this is all Meghan's fault. You could make an excellent case against me for that. Excellent. Like, I don't like them. I do think she's emotionally abusive. I think she's a toxic, manipulative person. I think she's strategic and cunning in a way that I think would be honestly very interesting to learn from if she ever wanted to do a TED Talk, but she's too deeply charmless to ever do that. But again, you give people like this enough rope, the story is going to spin and spin and spin until it's so over the top. They're bigger than QAnon. If I had that kind of reach, if I was more powerful, me and of course, my demented cabal of fellow creators whose entire existence orients around being shitty to Meghan Markle, okay, why would I not use that influence for something that made me more money? Why wouldn't I start like a crypto fund? Like, again, like, Meghan believes she is the sun around which everyone orbits. And what do we say about narcissists? The hallmark of their behavior is, it's my play, I am the star of the play, and everyone on planet Earth they're just little minor characters in my play. They're not the star of their own plays, which is actually what is the case. We are all the star of our own lives. No. None of these people really exist or matter unless I give them meaning by paying attention to them and having use for them. And thank you, Meghan, for giving us visual examples of exactly that mindset. You wanted to see it in action, girls? Here it was. This whole thing is so embarrassing. I can't even believe this got on the air at Netflix. I truly can't. And no shit, they didn't call me for comment because I would have shredded them. I would have been like, I will fly to wherever you're filming, mic me up, put me on camera. I'll sit down with these two and I'll debate them flat out. Like, let's go. Let's do it. If they are so in the right, what do they have to be afraid of? Little me? A troll? No. Or am I an influencer? I don't know. I'm both. I'm all at the same time. Me, a middle-aged housewife? Why would you be afraid of me? And if you want to say, well, Shallon, I think you're taking the low road right now. I'm sorry, I don't think that fighting lies with logic is the low road. And you know who might agree with me? Prince Harry. Because what did he say was a global plague? Misinformation. Oh, the irony. A man spreading lies is crying and bitching about misinformation, and a woman who's unemployed and middle-aged is attacking middle-aged housewives. Neither of which I am, but fly high, queen. Oh, sorry. Fly high, duchess. Oh, wait, no, you're not that either. Fly high, D-list actress. Fly high. And Shalligators, we'll see you next time. We're going to talk about Drake and his 42 different engagement rings that he apparently had for 42 different women. I don't know, maybe 40. One of them were for Rihanna and like one was for his mom because I feel like he's got mommy issues. We're gonna break it down, talk about what to do if your guy wants more commitment that you wanna give him, what to do if someone proposes and you wanna say no, and is it actually a red flag if a guy is like super, super into getting married? We're gonna talk about it all, and in the meantime, I'll see you later, Shalligators.